Presenting the CW Crew. Brought to you by the X Games.
How's everybody doing out there? Woo! The press conference is always like the best way to start off the X Games right here. Every year, it's just so much fun. Year 3, couldn't be more grateful to be back here. This city and this venue is the best host for X Games indoors. I'm still kind of sweating from the long rib at Butcher and the Boar last night. I'm sure you locals know what I'm talking about. And sorry, that's like the most youth that we've ever had at an X Games, and we couldn't get them up here because most of them are in daycare. But we do have some of the best action sports athletes up here, so without further ado, we're going to kick this off. If you have any questions throughout the panel, please chime in. But first and foremost, you're local from Stillwater, Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Haas. Woo! Nicole was recently named to the Team USA Skateboarding. In the push towards the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics, she finished top 5 in both 2017 and 2018. Guaranteed she's going to win this year. No pressure, no big deal.
No pressure.
And my first question, I've heard rumors that people are starting to call you the team mom at just 21. And since it's the youngest competition field ever at X Games, my question is, what's it like raising all these children?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I actually had to name myself a team mom because I was like, wow, I'm the oldest at 21, and I do have to keep those kids in line, you know? So a lot of them can't even drive. I'm like, this is weird. But I mean, I think I'm the second oldest at X Games this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Only 21.
Yeah.
But for real, though, like, what does this mean for like the future of women skateboarding with all the youth? Do you feel like you're being pushed?
Yeah, definitely.
The energy?
It's crazy that... Because a lot of girls are starting and they have all this opportunity right away, you know? Where I started, I only had maybe like 1 or 2 contests a year. Now there's like 10 or 12 or whatever. There's going to be tons of contests and there's tons of opportunity for them to progress a little bit faster than girls before them did. But it's really cool. It's just going to push it forward, you know? It's not hurting us, so.
It's truly amazing. And somebody else that made his debut at 11 years old, to Nicole's left, Jagger Eaton, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. So after shifting focus to street, he's taken silver in the discipline at X Games Norway 2018 and Minneapolis last year. Also named part of the Team USA skateboarding team. And my question for you, Jagger, is will you be more focused on street or park this year?
You know, that's kind of a hard question because I grew up skating everything. You know, I started skating when I was 4 years old, and I started off on a mini ramp, and then 5 years later I was skating street. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to be in a place where I am healthy enough to still do both. And I mean, I don't really think I'm gonna focus on one. You know, right now I'm ranked in the top 10 in street and top 5 in park. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I don't really want to switch anything up. I'm old fashioned. I like sticking to my process and I like sticking to what I do, and I skate everything. So I'm just gonna keep doing that.
And a personal question, like, has skateboarding like changed for you since you were competing at 11? Like, do you come in here with a different mindset? Like, approach to tricks, like, or is it still the same thing as when you first dropped in here?
Yeah, well, when I was 11 and I walked through X Games doors in LA, I about peed myself and was sweating from head to toe, and it was the scariest weekend of my life. But,
Dad, look.
Yeah, no, seriously, and I really do appreciate this contest every year because I walk through and it just brings back those old kid feelings. You know, I come here and I'm able to compete with some of my best friends now. And you know, I think now I feel more of a veteran. You know, I've competed 3 events now. I've competed pro mega and street and park now, and you know, I feel like everybody here is family, and I just feel so comfortable being out here competing. And thank you guys so much for being out here and supporting, and just a great event.
Absolutely, it's like the Olive Garden. You know, when you're here, you're family.
Yeah. It is the Olive Garden.
That Olive Garden mentality. We got Kyle Baldock, who's competing in BMX dirt and park. No stranger to the X Games. He's a 10-time X Games medalist, no big deal. Earned both dirt and park gold at X Games Foz de Agua. Why do you got to put that in there? I can't pronounce that. Iguachu. Fagadosu. Okay, another dirt title at X Games Minneapolis 2019 would give him the most X Games gold in the discipline, so really rooting for Kyle in that discipline. And Kyle, you do a lot of work mentoring up-and-coming riders. Are you excited to ride in the first ever Special Olympics Unified race here at X Games tomorrow?
Well, first of all, thanks for everyone being here. It helps us like get to do what we get to do more for all the fans that can't actually come to the event. But literally, my biggest thing is to train up and coming kids into like the mental aspect, the actual physical aspect that we do as athletes. People sometimes just think that we go to a skate park every day and ride around and whatnot. But I'm that blessed to be here and just to do this first event ever with the Special Olympics would be kind of like a milestone for me. And no joke, I just actually opened up a skate park at home just to train my own kids as well and hopefully bring in the next people that are going to be gold medalists or just be here at X Games because we're such blessed to be actually here. And this event always brings back the best people. So, yeah, I'm psyched to be here and I'm psyched to do it. Literally, I can't wait to, and we're going for the W. We're going for the win. Whoever my teammate is, we're going to put in hard work and we're going to get there.
Nice. All right. Where does that motivation come from to like have the desire to bring out the best in the next generation? Like someone looking out for you growing up, or is this just something in your heart?
Well, I started riding just at a local skate park. It was pretty much like my mum would buy parts every Christmas for me, and I'd like put my birthday and all the money you'd get for like school stems and stuff, I would just take it and not give it to the school and literally buy bike parts. No joke. And I lost my brother pretty early in my life where I never lost anyone close to me or lost like a family member, and I lost him, and I've got to meet Dave the next year, Dave Mirror, and the feeling of, pardon me, brings back a lot of memories, but going to the warehouse, the animal house, kind of like brought this like inner soul out of people. It wouldn't be just you go ride a normal skate park. It would honestly be like he wanted the best for you personally and out of your riding. And he would push you without even saying go do something. You would just push yourself. And I don't find another place like that at all. And I wanted to, at home, bring that same mentality that, when kids come to me, I give them everything. I don't ever hold anything back. And I want them to push and try and absolutely beat me or beat the standard where I am right now with 10 medals. Like, it's crazy to even say that I have 10 medals. But I want a kid that comes from Australia. I had nothing, and then we have a lot of kids like that, and our talent is just massive. So the motivation really comes from the whole warehouse feeling. Dave just kind of like taking his life and putting it like in an aspect for me where I want to just help every individual do the best they can and be the best human being that literally they can be.
Applause to that.
That was a bit emotional.
Dude, it's inspiring, man. Thank you for doing that, honestly. That's what it's all about. We got Rob Adelberg from Victoria, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. So I'm just going to read this as it is. Adelberg floated largely under the radar until 2018. I knew who you were before then. But he became the first athlete in history to earn 5 X Games medals in 1 calendar year. That was insane. And most recently, successfully defended his gold in snowbike best trick in Aspen and earned silver in Moto X best trick at X Games Shanghai. And then also at the end of the event, beat me in arm wrestling on the final night at X Games Shanghai, proving that moto dudes are absolutely burly because I was training for that moment. So what do you think it is about Australians having such a commanding lead in X Games lately?
I think it's because, I don't know, we're just built a bit tougher down there, maybe.
It's true. Seriously.
No, I think we get to see what all the US guys are doing, and they kind of have it on their doorstep, where we have to kind of work a bit harder for it. And we always see the best that comes from the US, so we think we have to be at that level. And we get to that level, then we come over here and we realise that they're not always on that level where we are there, and we come and take over. Yeah.
That's definitely it.
You guys are always in the future, though, with the time change, right?
Exactly. We're a day ahead as well, yeah.
And it sounds like Moto X Freestyle is the one goal that you're still fighting for. What have you been up to trying to get ready to win that one?
Yeah, so that's the one gold medal I haven't got, which is freestyle, and that's what I want to be. I want to be the best freestyle guy. It shows you're the best all-round freestyle rider. So I've been working on some more front flip combos, so hopefully this weekend you'll see 3 front flip variations in my run, plus a body varial, and I'm pretty confident that'll be enough to secure a gold medal this weekend.
Is it bittersweet that Tom Pejez isn't here this year?
I want to beat all the best riders at their best, so it's disappointing that he's not here.
For sure.
But it's one competitor that's, out of the way.
No big deal. Moving on, we got our Willie, Ryan Williams, also from Australia, competing in BMX Big Air. Once known strictly for scooter skills, Williams has become quickly impressed with his BMX community and has gained so much respect. It was actually insane how he has such a big following on social media and was able to rally his entire community to pretty much go after X Games. He'd be like, invite our Willie. And then the invitation video of him like learning that he was invited to X Games is incredible. So if you don't follow him on Instagram, all these guys, of course, definitely go check that out. So Ryan, you're such an innovator when it comes to tricks. Do you have anything new up your sleeve this year?
Yeah, I always have something in the back of my mind that I can bring out. It's just kind of like, how far do I want to reach? You know, you got to be calculated. You don't want to roll. You don't want to roll the dice on something that maybe is too much. You know, you don't want to gamble too much. So I always have something new to bring. It's just, what am I willing to risk to get that gold medal? And it really comes down to like what I feel safe doing. I don't want to go out there and, you know, ruin myself and not even be able to make it to the X Games contest, which is what I nearly did last year. I actually fractured my spine in practice, just trying to prove something to only myself. So I'm really trying to take it slow, just like I did in Shanghai, you know, come out, just air the small jump on the first day and then move up, and then in the contest, go big or go home.
Yeah, like in Shanghai, your last run, would you say that was taking it mellow?
Yeah, no brakes.
That was that was, my heart completely dropped. And then we got Tim Reed, who started as an intern and is now the VP of X Games. No big deal. Not only he is the fearless leader of the X Games franchise, but Tim graduated from Yale, so you know he's really smart, thank goodness. And he played both football and basketball, so incredible athlete. He's an avid snowboarder, might even still hop on his skateboard from time to time. Hopefully we'll see him out there in Big Air practice. And until he suffered a devastating right middle finger injury, Tim was well on his way to a leading scorer title in the ESPN Intramural Basketball League this year. So always next year, Tim. Always next year. For the record, he told us to make it less serious. So there you go, Tim. Into the serious stuff here. Over the past few years, X Games has really embraced the overall festival atmosphere with huge concerts, art, and even gaming this year. Why do you think all these pieces complement action sports so well?
Well, first of all, let me just say a big thanks to all the athletes that are up here supporting X Games year in and year out. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, we've built you guys a really nice stage this year for you to do what you need to do. We're stoked. We're excited for you guys, and hopefully this is another great one for you. So big thanks. I know a lot of people put hours and hours to make sure this is all dialed in and shining really nice for you guys. So enjoy the weekend, and we can't wait to see what happens. So thank you. Just in terms of the broader X Games, you know, I know the fields keep getting smaller, but younger. But over the course of X Games, you know, sports has always been the backbone of what we do, but the focus has always been trying to remain relevant to youth culture and what kids are into, so that people who show up at the X Games, they get a sense of what's important to kids, important to young people in the world. And so what we've just tried to do from the X Games perspective is just make sure we can bring in those elements that also are relevant. I think all the athletes understand that, you know, music to them, art, fashion, these are all interesting intersections of the culture that, you know, they and we all live with day in and day out. And so for us, it's made it a smart move to try to bring all those things in. And, you know, you've seen it over the years with more music. This year we're doing more gaming. They're getting different medals, because last time we made that decision, it was one that wasn't very well liked, so we made some adjustments. But we're excited to bring those in, and we think it's a relevant part of, again, what kids are interested in. So I think that's where you'll see us to continue to develop, and hopefully, again, just at the end of the day, bring and create an awesome experience for fans to come out and enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, a kid just won $3 million playing Fortnite, so it's like, it makes sense. More than Wimbledon, no big deal.
Wait, is it Fortnite?
It's
No,
Apex Legends here.
X, yeah.
We're doing
Apex.
I tell you, I'll see how this X Games goes, and if I don't do too well, I think I'm gonna start gaming so I can win
Absolutely.
myself $4.3
Dude,
million.
good luck. I've tried. It is so hard.
I'll carry you.
What's the rule with that? Because I would love to sit down and win some money if we're gonna do this, and I'm down to play Apex. Let me know.
Let's just
Have
say
an athlete version.
the amount of like sacrifice that you guys put into your sports, they do the same. Like I actually had the opportunity to play at an Apex Legends tournament with like an hour of practice, so I got whooped. But I did learn that like that's all they do all day, every day. It's like just 10 hours. Anyways, moving on.
But
I could go on all day long. My,
Well,
my
it
gaming
is-
hashtag is Jack Matrani. Let's battle.
Well, when we did it, and I think our first one was 2014, just the reaction was totally different. I mean, I think there's more athletes who play games versus than there was back then. I think it just shows maybe we were a little bit too early to the game or the e-games, I guess, but now it seems to make sense, like it fits a little better in the overall mix. And yeah, you guys should hop up there and try it out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
the players in.
Let's go.
All right, so I got a question for the whole table here, and feel free if anybody wants to jump in. What do the X Games mean to you compared to other events?
So
Olympics
as a motocross rider, we aren't able to go to the Olympics. So for us, this is the Olympics of freestyle motocross. It's the biggest, the best, and you guys look after us really well, and that's the best one to come to. So I appreciate being here.
What about you, Jagger? I could see. I mean, even with the Olympics coming up, doesn't X Games kind of like hold this be like the? I'll let you speak.
I think, obviously the Olympics is important, and obviously competing for your country is huge, but every time I come to this event, I look forward to it more than anything over the summer. I mean, I've been all over the world this summer. I've been to Europe, I've been to China, but all I look forward to is this Minneapolis trip with all my friends, and I feel like every time I come here, it's family. And the way you guys take care of your athletes, Tim, and you guys take care of all of us so well, and the courses are amazing, and I mean, the hospitality is just like out of the charts, and you guys put on a great event and everything. The concerts, you guys give us such a great overall experience, and we just can't thank y'all enough for this. It's amazing. Of course.
Personally, to me, I mean, this is the reason why I started riding in any action sport. I seen the X Games, I seen the X Games movie, and I was like, I want to be like those guys on the screen. And all you need to do is like look at the screen here to see that it's the best action sports event ever. Like having everything under one roof, no wind, no elements, and everyone just doing their best. They've prepared all year for this event, and you're just going to see the best of action sports. And the thing I like the most about it is that we're all like a family. You'll see it, everyone from every discipline at every event, just cheering each other on. Doesn't matter what you ride, it's just about action sports.
Yeah, definitely. If you look around and just see the venue here, it's insane that we get to skate in here and motocross and BMX and do all of our action sports that we usually do at parks where nobody else is watching. We have a whole stadium here for people to enjoy. And really every other contest I go to, we don't get taken care of like this. I was just thinking about it just now. Like, we get food, we get concert tickets, we get everything. Seriously, any other contest, it's like some Skittles and like seriously, like
What's
the
wrong with
most-
Skittles?
Seriously, like no food. I was just thinking about it sitting here when these guys were talking about it. I was like, yeah, this is like here we're really taken care of, and all the staff is like my family. I look forward to like seeing the staff more than anything. So it's really great, and thanks X Games for always putting this on for us.
Yeah, I'm just going to add on to that. The staff makes this so easy for us. We usually like go to another contest, we're trying to find where we sit, try and find out where to pad up and whatnot. They put us in this like suite, I would say, where we get to look over the whole course, pad up, watch people ride. This is the best contest in the world. Like, if you don't know it yet, X Games is, even though we're in the Olympics, it's the pinnacle. This is like where we want to be when you wake up in the morning and you want to be a professional athlete. This is the contest. And I pinch myself all the time to actually be like, shit, I've been here for 7 years. Like, literally, it's insane to do that. But I'm still humbleized by like just how much they keep growing and keep getting better. And they, like something's wrong in one year, they'll fix it the next year. They'll help. Like listen to us athletes. You know what I mean? They want to make the best experience, and we hope we show the fans that we are literally living the dream, and they can get to do the same thing if they put enough hard work into it. So X Games, Tim, thanks for always being there for us, boy.
Woo! Going off hospitality, real quick. What's your favorite things in the athlete lounge?
They have unlimited fruit. Like unlimited fruit. You can eat so many bananas and whatnot.
Are you guys writing that down?
No, literally. There's massages. There's not just one thing in there. Like literally, we all get to just hang out and that's it. Like everyone gets to come together in one specific kind of area. And like I said, skateboarding, BMX, motorbike guys, we're all together in the same bit, eating lunch next to each other. When do you get to do that? You know what I mean? Even if you haven't met someone before, you'll just run into them and say what's up, and it's kind of like your family. Straight up, it's the best bit.
I'm gonna throw in the ping pong table. Just real quick.
Yeah, I hit the barber shop this morning.
Nice, there it is.
I would just say the people. I just love that we're all, like, we all do action sports, and I feel like we're all really like-minded people, so we all get along really well. And you could sit down at any table and have an awesome conversation with someone that you've never met before. And I think that's my favorite part, is just everyone's just like a big family, and it's always a good time just chilling out in the athlete room.
Awesome. I love the acai in there. The acai bowls are incredible.
Oh, Sahi.
I haven't seen those yet. What are those?
Where are those at?
I think that was like one of my jobs. I think I was supposed to actually do the acai serving, but after this, for sure. Let's talk about Minneapolis. What's your favorite thing about Minneapolis outside of U.S. Bank Stadium? Have you guys been able to get into the city?
Lime scooters.
Manny's Steakhouse. I love the Manny's Steakhouse.
Manny's.
Yeah, downstairs from our hotel. Monster will like take us one time only because it's so expensive. We don't have anything like that at home. And they bring out everything on a platter and show you kind of like the meat and everything. We don't have that at home. In Australia, it's just like, we want a steak. They just go, yep, that's the steak you're getting. So that is probably a sick thing outside. The scooters as well. We don't have those, do we, at home?
Only in the main cities.
Yeah, well, not on the Gold Coast. We don't have those, I don't think.
I would just say mainly, like, me and my girlfriend, I've been making her go on the Lime scooter just because it's so easy to get around here. I find that the street's really easy. They're all like numbered, so it's like I don't need my maps to get around. I can kind of just jump on a Lime scooter, and I get my girlfriend to jump on, and we just cruise everywhere, all around the city, and it looks nice. It's safe, and yeah, it's just been a blast looking around and seeing all the sights.
I've been dying to ask you, like, what happens when our Willie hops on a Lime scooter? Like, are you doing tricks, or like you thinking about dropping it on the big air ramp? Like, what's going through your head?
I think they flag my account, start beeping. They don't let me start it. I don't know why. I only tried like jumping 10 stairs.
You know what I mean?
That's incredible. You got to try butchering the boar too. If you're talking about steaks, the long rib there. Ooh-wee.
You take me there after this.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
One-on-one, little date night. Let's talk about Olympics real quick. You guys have been competing at X Games for years. What do you think about the Olympics picking up park in street 20 years after the Winter Olympics started adding snowboard events? For those of you who have a chance of going to the Olympics here.
You want it? Go ahead.
I don't know. I guess it's crazy that it's taken this long for skateboarding to get in the Olympics, and I appreciate that X Games saw that action sports in general is something that people want to see. I mean, speed walking and like beach wrestling. There's so many. I keep finding out beach wrestling is in the like. I don't know how all of these sports aren't in the Olympics. Are like years and years ago. Like it's pretty crazy. So it's a cool opportunity, but sometimes I look at it and I'm like, this is weird. Like how are we just getting into the Olympics? But yeah, thank God there's been X Games to support us for the past 20 years.
Yeah, and I think X Games is one of the first contests to ever put skateboarding, street, and park on a main stage. And for the viewers that watch it, for the spectators, it's such an event. And I think that, you know, I always say that one of my favorite things to do is just to sit down and watch a contest. And now that it is in the Olympics, I feel like, you know, to look back on the years where it wasn't, you know, X Games really funded this and made it what it is today. And the reason that it is in the Olympics is because of the way that X Games portrayed it to the spectators. And I think overall, I think it's a huge plus for all of us. You know, I feel like skateboard, street, and park will change the way that the Olympics is viewed. And I think people are just going to love it.
I'm just going to say he's right.
Yep.
That's
Agreed.
perfect. I was going to
Agreed.
add on to that, but literally, like, it should have been in there a long time ago. The sports that are in there, some of them we watch and we're like, what is that? We wouldn't be out there.
Beach wrestling.
Like, yeah, with the thing on the snow or whatever. And I mean, that people love that stuff. That's okay. That people love that. But we literally, our fans, we interact with our fans. We're not just walking past them and thinking, you know, we're better than them. We're actually just normal people that are really good at what we do because we put in the hard work. And putting us on that stage, it's going to, exactly what he said, change how the Olympics are looked. But there is nothing like X Games. I said it before. We could be on any stage. This is the main stage we look at when we're growing up, and kids still. Willie just said he watched the movie. I've watched the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, watch it. And I'm telling you, X Games is kind of like the pinnacle thing. And to be like even one of four, I'm one of four to like get on to maybe be in there. They have 9 people going. You know what I mean? Like 9 people. It's a real small field, and it's really hard to like actually be one of those people. But this is like our actual event. They put it on for us. They love us. We get to like talk backwards and forwards with people that run this event. So yeah, the Olympics is amazing, but there'll be nothing like X Games.
Yeah, and I think the positive with Olympics picking up the sports is it's only going to make you guys more heroes than you already are. And then as much as you guys grow, it's going to make X Games grow, and it's all going to complement each other. Moving on to progression/training. What's your mentality and training approach before an X Games event?
Can I quickly just add something to the last
Please.
question?
Jump
I
in.
wish they had a country ranking for X Games. I think we might take the top one there in Australia.
Oh, snap.
I mean, if you count the people on the up here on the table.
Well, I told you, the youth can't be here because they're at daycare, but the Japanese are coming in hot, man. I'm telling you.
We'll see about skateboarding. We'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, sorry to add that in. Back to
No,
your
that was
question.
good. That was good. I actually have a question. There's a lot of like 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds in skateboarding. Why haven't we seen that yet in BMX and moto?
Yeah, in moto, they ride different size bikes. Their bikes wouldn't really be able to handle our jumps. So you could have maybe 15-year-olds and up, but under that, the bikes are too small and they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Just like a 10-year-old really big jack.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen these guys? Like, you got beat by the arm wrestle by him. No reason. Like, these dudes are beasts. Like, I started skating when I was 4 years old, and I broke both my elbows immediately because I had, like, sticks. They're, like, that big of arms. So.
Immediately. Does anyone have anything to mention about your training regimen for X Games?
Lots of sleep.
Tim Reed, lots of sleep, lots of emails, lots of conference calls.
I think that
Heavy
like for us, in BMX, like when we got inducted, it kind of changed us like mentality towards riding bikes. Like before, we rode 6-7 hours straight, and we kind of just try to learn every trick, watch videos, and do another trick. Now it's all about like gym. It's about being the fittest, strongest athlete we can actually be, and I feel like that has like played a massive part on what you see out here. All the tricks are getting harder, but they're also getting harder because we are actually more fitter. We can do more with the bike. We're becoming stronger like athletes. So like the regime from last year for me is like more cardio, gym based, working out what tricks are actually gonna bring home the medals. That's probably another thing, like doing a full research. You know, we're in the stadium of like NFL, and I watch these guys train kids from out of high school, and like we have nothing like that in Australia. So for us to actually be here is crazy. And then, like I said, I just like got half into another skate park where I'm hopefully going to build something like I watch on TV through the NFL kind of like strategy, where you bring them in mental health, you teach them what it's going to take, you teach them how to eat right, you teach them how to kind of like train the body, because that's what actually gets it done out there. The bike is just a tool for the mind, and if we're stronger like that, it kind of like makes it riding easier. So yeah, training has changed a lot since we've just been inducted. So,
You ever hop on a Peloton?
no.
I could see you just being like the instructor out there.
I would just like to add that I know a lot of people will just see action sports as kind of like daredevils. We go out, we don't care if we get hurt, we're just sending ourselves. But absolutely everybody out here in the X Games are so calculated. Every risk you take, you've thought about it 100 times before you do it. We're not just sending ourselves across a 50-foot mega ramp and hoping that we're going to land on our wheels. We've done the work, and we're really calculated. You're not just a daredevil like some people think we are. So it's taken a long time. Over 12 years of my life, I kind of have like a simulator in my head that I can go, hey, I want to try this new trick, and I'll think about it through my head. And it's like you can write your name down on a piece of paper with your eyes closed. It's kind of like I can do a certain trick on my bike with my eyes closed as well, and I'd hope it happened. I wouldn't do it because it'd be very silly, but we do calculate a lot of things before we go out there and give them a try, and I just hope that people see that more than just thinking we're a bunch of daredevils that just go out there and don't care if we fall over, because we all really care, and if you don't care, then you're not here at the X Games.
And just to add to that, everything has changed too. We used to just send stuff onto concrete. No joke. I used to just go to the skate park, go, yep, I'm going to learn a backflip, put a mattress down, land on your back, be like, okay, I'm not made of I'm made of rubber pretty much, or like I didn't break anything. That's pretty. And then now we got foam pits. We've got airbags. We've got pretty much essentially stuff to stop the kids doing what we did when we were growing up, just sending it and literally, yeah. Well, he probably got into it like and had foam pits and stuff, because at our local skate park we didn't have one. We did it straight to the concrete. But now as we're developing and as I guess like the tricks are getting more wilder, like he's saying, we are calculated. We're 100% know exactly what we're doing, and we can fix it in the air. If something goes wrong, we are literally that calculated. We know exactly what's going on. But as we keep getting like bigger and bigger, I guess, like the sport does, the facilities get better. You don't go to a gymnast and just get them to do flips on the floor for the first time. You put them in a foam pit, then it goes to like a little rubber mat, and then so on and so forth till they actually learn how to flip. So I feel like now it's getting way more safer to try these massive tricks we've had in our heads probably for years, no joke. And I'm not lying, we've done tricks, I would say both of us have, or all three of us, or even skaters maybe, that are 7 years ago. And now we're just starting to do them on the course because we feel comfortable, or it takes a long time, but we've had the tricks there forever, no joke. So yeah, the facilities change a lot too as we're getting better.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like we've just been us talking up here. Do you guys have anything?
Hi, Tim. Rachel Blount from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more on, you mentioned that the fields are getting younger. How much younger can they get? What exactly have you seen in terms of getting younger? We've gone from what to what, and then how much more younger can they get, and what is going to be the overall effect on action sports with just younger and younger kids competing at these high levels?
Well, I think one of the things that's, how many years have we been doing women's skate park? Is this since 2013, right? So 5-6 years. Yep. So I think part of it, what's helped the evolution of, probably lowering the ages of the competitors is what sports we're actually bringing in and highlighting. So, clearly women's skate park, Nicole was probably one of more of the first generations, I guess, which is kind of crazy to say 5 years ago. And now with X Games giving it a bigger platform, there's more participants out there. There's also been a proliferation of skate parks all over the world. And so even when we added skate park probably 10 years ago on the men's side, that was all in a reaction to what was happening in communities around the country, which was like finally concrete skate parks were being built, way more participants. And so we were really just reacting to that. We built the first, one of the first temp concrete skate parks years ago, and I think we started off a little trend, got that event going. So when you look at the events we've added, whether it's been the park events, those are disciplines that targeted younger athletes, and so I think that's helped bring in a whole new generation versus like where we used to do things like rally car racing, where again, you don't have 10-year-olds driving rally cars. And so that was part of the strategy. We wanted to be younger, we wanted to be more relevant to kids and what kids were doing, and so adding women's skate park, adding park in general, bringing in BMX street, which we didn't already always have. So again, just targeting disciplines that were heavy with younger participants was a big part of it.
I think another thing about that too is that the Next X program that you guys have, the contest, and my little brother is actually competing in that. And we grew up skating together, my older brother, me, and my little brother, Costin, who is 11 and is just starting into the Next X Street program, which is this contest that they do here. And I think that the progression that I see from the kids is honestly really scary because, I mean, it's insane. You know, I do back home, you know, I have a, you know, private trainer, I do everything. But overall, my favorite thing during the day is that I dedicate about 3 to 4 hours to skate my little brother every day. And he's a beast, to say the least. I mean, he's amazing. And to see him out here competing, I mean, the fact that you guys give him an opportunity to come out here and hang out with the pros and really just come out here and compete, I mean, I think that's just the best thing you guys could do. And it's awesome that he's out here because he has about a million stuff from the athlete lounge and everything in my room. So I'm going to have to find a place to put that. But, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Where all the candy went.
Yeah, that's where all the Skittles went and all the candy. My brother just turned 11. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's amazing. And I have a little sister who's 5 and a little brother who's 3 that love skateboarding as well. So if this keeps happening, I think we'll get the whole family in here. So it'll be awesome.
This is for anybody. What do your parents think about your career choice? And second part of the question, what would you do in your second life, assuming you can't do this? This is for anybody.
Be an Apex gamer.
Have you heard of Apex Legends?
Jeez, my parents definitely would probably rather me not skateboard just because of the danger level, you know? So, like, they support it fully, but they're like, you know, we'd like it better if you did something safer. But I don't know what I would do in my second life. Jeez. Like, I would come back as myself still. I don't know. I was going to go to school for criminal justice, but I don't know if I would still do that now. Yeah, that was back in the day. That was when I was 17. Now I'm, you know, old and in the X Games.
Old, you're 21. 21.
How to say old and 21.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So,
I would say when I first started, I think my parents were like, oh, it's a bit iffy. You know, it's just a hobby. So I wasn't taking it, like, really serious. I was just kind of having fun with it. But when I started doing more bigger jumps, more dangerous kind of tricks, that's when they were like, oh, are you going to be all right? My mum would watch me, like, with it between her fingers like this. But then after, say, 3 or 4 years, she just realized that I'm not just going out there and throwing myself around. I'm really calculated. And I think it just grew on her, and she realized that, hey, I can make a living out of this, and who doesn't want to make a living out of doing something that you find fun? I think that's the best job you can have in the whole world, and I would never want to stop my son or daughter from potentially making a living just having fun. I think, yeah, obviously it's the best job you can think of, and now she's actually flying over. I bought her tickets to fly over here, my mum and my dad, and they're going to be watching this weekend. So I think they don't really mind that as well. So I think they like the fact that they can be flown to America to watch me compete in X Games. So I don't think if I asked them 10 years ago if I should still do this, I think they would still say, yeah, go for it. So I think they like it now. It just had to grow on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I grew up in a gymnastics family. So my dad was an Olympic level gymnast. My mom was also. And what ended up happening was I did not look good in a leotard when I was 6 years old. So I had to, I fell in love with skateboarding when I was 4, and I kept doing both. And then when I turned 6, my dad was like, all right, if this is what you want to do, then you're going to do it to the full aspect of what you want to do. And yeah, it just happened. It felt like it happened so quick. You know, I feel like just yesterday I was skating, and yeah, I mean, it's all history from then. You know, my parents have always been the type of people where, you know, if you want to go be it, like, and we'll fully support it. And yeah, I'm just blessed to have parents like that.
I used to have the curse where, like, I would ride to school, but I'd be trying to do tricks on the way, and I would, like, go, Mum, I'm going to jump this gap right here. And literally, this would be at the front of the high school, and I'm just riding home. She'll be driving past, and I'll clip the back wheel and just crash onto the road. And she'd be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But then I would go hang out with the boys later that day, and I'd learn tricks way faster than them. I'd be, like, more intent in learning than actually going out there and just trying to crash. But I had the curse for probably 3 years where I'd ring my mum and be like, Mum, I learned this trick. And she'd be like, no, you didn't. And I'd be like, come to the skate park. Literally crash, break something. I'll be like, what? Why? so hard. But then it got to a point where me and my mum sat in hospital. It was like, if I rounded out, I've done 27 bones, probably sat in the hospital for probably 3 years if you put it all together. And it took a long time. Like I said, I sent it all the time onto concrete. I knew I could do the trick in my head. It was more about physically doing the trick. That was like the piece for me. But it all stopped when I learned how to backflip, and I called my mum. And I've done interviews about this same exact story, I'll say. And I called her and I said, Mum, I broke both my legs. And she was like, oh, where are you? Come to the skate park. Literally, I was at the top of this roll in, do a backflip, land it, and I'm like, Mum, I'm going to be a pro. I'm going to be a serious pro. And she come over and she grabbed me and she's like, if you ever do that again to me, I'll break both your legs. So after that, I literally never called her. She just came down to the skate park every day. We just kind of got this rhythm together where obviously crashes happen. They're just part of the curve, but like my family now fully supports it, and they did from the start. You know what I mean? Like not every kid wants to be in school, and that's if I could come back, I would literally be a teacher, and I would do it a totally different way. I'd try and run my own school, and the curriculum that people get taught in Australia is just, it hurts my feelings. Like I can go in and be full kinesthetic, want to touch everything, and then another kid comes in, they're full visual, auditory, and they treat them exactly the same. They crush their dreams so easily, and kind of that's the thing that I was talking about before. I guess my gift is not that I ride bikes so well, it's that I can interact with people using the bike to get kind of closer to, people and kind of tell them the truth of how actually the world works. And, we should be learning our tax, in school. I become a pro and you're like, what the fuck is tax? I don't even know what that is. So, yeah, if I could come back, I'd be a teacher, and I'd try and just change the whole game pretty much. And I'm trying to still change the whole game anyway. So, but yeah, the parents they're in love with us now, you know what I mean? We're famous, they say, you know what I mean?
So are you saying, like, if you were to come back in the next life, you'd be a tax accountant?
No, I wouldn't be a tax accountant, all right? I would be literally like, I'd like the Minister of Education. And I would fully change how it is taught to kids. And it'd be individual, like, based. Like, I know there's that many kids in schools, but there is that many good teachers as well. And then they get, obviously, stuck by the system. You know what I mean? The system is really old. I want to change it. We're kind of young, I guess, in this sport, but that would be me coming back.
It's amazing. Rob, I'd love to hear from you. I know you and your dad have a pretty close relationship. He's there at the foam pits filming. And
Yeah, so my dad was a dirt bike rider, and he brought me a bike when I was 3, and my dad was, my hero, so all I wanted to do was ride dirt bikes like him. And then I had kind of the curse thing with my mum. She came to an event once and just knocked myself silly, was knocked out and got carried away in a helicopter. So she stopped coming to the events, but she knows, she knows what goes into it. I call her after an event, and yeah, she's pretty happy about that. But my dad, he helps me every single day I ride. He'll help me in the foam pit, so I'll jump in there. He has an excavator, and he'll lift me out. He's also probably one of my hardest critics, so if I ask him if I've done any good and he gives me the thumbs up, I know I've done all right. Yeah, so it works pretty good now.
that's amazing. Another question in the back? Superman?
Well, only to my kids. Nicole, Jeff Brasher from Channel 5 locally. Can you tell us about your approach this year compared to X Games here in Minneapolis in the past, where you're more of a vet, and obviously a lot of local kids are looking to see what you're going to do this year?
Yeah, I just am getting off an injury, so sad to say I don't have anything too new as opposed to last year. I was hurt for 4 months with a knee injury, and this is my third week back skateboarding. So kind of gonna try to put on the best show I can for the local kids and my family and friends. I have 150 coming out this year, up in the ante, up in the pressure a little bit, but I'm really just gonna go out there and have fun and try to do some big airs and make the crowd stoked. Do my best. That's my approach.
We've got another question in the back right.
Yeah, I'm Brian Mosey from Rivertown Multimedia. This is kind of for anyone. I guess, how have you kind of seen X Games transform since 2017 when it came to Minneapolis throughout these last 3 years? And I guess, sounds like it's been getting better and better and better, but I guess, how have you seen it change throughout the last 3 years?
Well, I think, like I said, when we come to a new place, it's like a new arena. All the people that are building all the jumps and all, like the motocross event, like everything is in this place where like it's all like a moving puzzle. You know what I mean? And the very first year, it's very hard because everyone, I don't know if they don't talk to each other, but they're like, yeah, we want this space, we need this space, and we just build it. This year is by far for me, and I just came from dirt practice. That's why I'm in my pads and probably like smelly for the guys, but and these guys over here. The idea for me is every year gets better because the stadium is amazing. Number one, we get to utilize more room in the stadium, and now like we just changed the jumps to the opposite way, and we've built an extra one. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can say for the moto dudes, the course last year was probably like a little bit tighter. Now theirs is a little bit more spread out. The more we're here, the more we learn from, or they learn from us, and all the stuff we talk to them about. But every year, I'm saying like it just gets better and better because they understand more from us, and they want us to do the biggest and best tricks we can, to be honest. And so they build it directly for us.
I think from someone who's competed, I've done LA, I've done Oslo, I've done Texas, and 2017 when it came to Minneapolis and I showed up here and I walked out after check-in and I walked out and saw this gigantic stadium with just the park and the street course and the mega and everything the way it was laid out. I think it was I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. You know, it was beautiful, and the parks were so awesome. The colors were amazing, and it was even better when I started competing, and the crowd and just everybody was so in tune with the skaters, and everybody was just so stoked. And you know, I just think it was such a cool atmosphere the first year, and every single year just gets better. I mean, I get DMs all day long like asking if I'm here, and the fans that are hitting me up, and I just think it's so cool. I feel like the fans and even the athletes get so in tune with the whole stadium feel, and when they're competing, everybody's so stoked for them, and there's just no bad vibes, and I just appreciate that a lot.
I think more and more people are figuring it out in Minnesota that this is happening, you know, because for the first year, no one's really seen an event like this in Minnesota, so it's really new to the population here, I guess, and I've always known about it, but the general public hasn't. So every year they're like, had friends that went here the year before and they said it was fun, so they come the next year, you know, so it kind of like compounds, I guess you could say. People talk about it and everyone gets to know it's fun, and they have so much community stuff going on outside, like with X Fest, and they have free events on Thursday, and it really brings the community together, and the more that hear about it, the better it's going to get, you know.
Go skateboarding day too. June 17th downtown was so cool just to see like all the locals walking by and being like, what is that? Wow, it's like being accepted. And like you look up in the buildings, everyone's like looking out like there's an elephant flying or something.
Yeah, it's super new to Minnesota.
Just awareness.
I feel like, so it's cool that it gets to be here and the kids and families get to be a part of it and see what it's all about, and see that skateboarding and BMX and motocross aren't just like, you know, like I feel like there's an idea behind it that it's like too like gnarly, but really your kids can do it too, you know. I came from Minnesota and I'm here, so doesn't mean that not any local kid, you know, if they worked hard enough, could do it too.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, shout out to whoever thought to put the half pipe contest in the Armory.
Yes.
That looks awesome. I've seen it on the X Games Instagram, and it just looks so good in there. So we're just coming up with better and better ideas. I mean, I'm not, but yous are. Better and better ideas every year. So yeah.
But it's definitely rider driven too. Like your guys' feedback goes such a long way, and you know the park builders and everything, and it only takes a little bit of rain and weather to be like, oh, let's put the events inside. You know.
Yeah. Motocross Step Up is outside too tomorrow, right?
It's gonna be beautiful. Anyways, just one
exciting.
event.
That's very exciting.
Hey, John from the CW, and this question is for Tim. Tim, number one, what's the worst thing they made you do as an intern? And number two, did you at that time know that you wanted to spend your career in X Games?
First question, worst thing I did as an intern. So my first job was actually to be the athlete registration person. So this was in 1997. I was the kid who got to register everyone. But back then, I used to have to take Polaroids of every single athlete, and we had 420 athletes back then because we did so many sports. And so I can still remember cutting 400 pictures, laminating.
Wow.
Credentials were done that way. So yeah, that was probably the toughest, or I guess the more most arduous thing I had to do. But it was character building. That's I live on that, so that's been great. And then second question was,
did you even as an intern you know that you wanted to spend your career?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I grew up I tried to snowboard as much as I could, and so I just at some point tried to find a job around snowboarding. I grew up in Rhode Island, and getting a job in the snowboard industry for a kid from Rhode Island almost seemed impossible. I used to think, oh, I went to Yale, I'll email Burton, or not. Yeah, we just had started getting email. Oh, I reached out to Burton over and over again, and crickets. Never could get any response back. So finally, X Games had just started, the Winter X Games in Snow Summit. And so yeah, I finally was peppering someone so much that they finally were like, oh, I can give you a 2-week gig. Just get to San Diego. And, from that point forward, I was just, basically put, hard work and figured out my angle. And then eventually they were like, hey, we got a gig in Colorado. Do you want to go live there? And I was like, yeah, sure. At the bottom of a ski resort, Crested Butte, sick riding, I'm in. So that's how it worked out for me.
Cool.
We're so lucky to have Tim Reed. I'm on calls with him every week, and I just can tell you that his biggest desire is to make sure the athletes are taken care of and action sports continues to grow. So just round of applause for Tim. So much respect. Trust me. Trust me. And I'm still going for that raise. Anyways, maybe not the time to talk about it. Anyways, does anybody else have any questions whatsoever? All right. Thank you guys so much.
Great job, you guys. That was awesome.
The CW crew on the CW Twin Cities. DJ Bonix, Alexa Score, and John Foss. Like, follow, subscribe to, and love the CW crew.